Guys, on the latest edition of Real Talk with Rick Glaser, we're going to be talking about Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, Tank Davis, and projected pay-per-view numbers for Tank versus Frank. Is that the last PBC event ever? All this and more, guys, on the latest edition of Real Talk with Rick Glaser.
Too can smell manly if you listen to Real Talk with Rick Glaser.
Thank you, Mr. Balboa. I appreciate it, guys. And look, I tell you what, we love speaking with the real Rick Glaser on Saturday or on Monday night. But guys, it's even better on Sunday. And to help me kick off the new date, hopefully, well, sometimes, with Mr. Rick Glaser, is the former prize fighter, left hook badass, Mr. Montequilla, Adam Lopez. Adam, how are you doing tonight, brother?
What's going on, guys? Really excited to talk boxing tonight with you guys.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And guys, we are here because we want to seek the counsel of the incomparable, esteemed Mr. Rick Glaser. Rick, how you doing this evening, brother?
Good. It's a relaxed Sunday for me. I'll be able to have more concentration on your questions and my answers, because Monday is my most hectic business day, and everything bleeds over into the night, and it just better off on Mondays for me going forward. I mean Sundays. On Sundays, I'm sorry.
You know what, brother? And I couldn't agree more. And I tell you what, man, the entire boxing community is better off with your input. And, well, look, a lot has happened since the last time we conversed. So, but I do have to get your thoughts on this one quick thing. And what's going to kick it off? Well, let's just play the intro music, okay?
Maybe, just maybe, it's time for Rick Glaser's Twitter watch. Bang!
Thank you, Teddy. Appreciate it, brother. So, guys, it's number one. Pay attention. In early betting, Errol Spence is a robust 2.5 to 1 favorite over WBC champ Seabass Fundora. I definitely like Fundora, as Spence is completely shot, including seeing his punch resistance has left him. This is a last money grab for Spence. Get down early on Fundora, as this line will smarten up. Hashtag BBC, hashtag boxing. Rick, does this fight even happen, or is this just, wishful thinking?
Well, it's supposed to happen. They're saying it's going to happen. It hasn't been officially announced yet, but there's already a line out on it. I don't know. It depends. Amazon was going to take a look at the Canelo pay-per-view numbers and then the Gervonta Davis coupled with David Benavidez and see if they're going to go forward. So a decision is yet to be made as far as I know. I don't know. I haven't heard yet, hey or nay, but let's assume it's going to go forward. Now, they don't have anything scheduled for July and August right now as far as regular pay-per-view. They're saying that they're going to do a show this summer on free Amazon. I don't know how, for subscription Amazon, I don't know how they're going to do that because Amazon's not coming up with any money.
Yep.
So we'll see if that takes place. But That being said, maybe they're going to do Canelo and Belanga in September, and then in October they're talking about doing this fight. Let's see if they have the backing. Let's see if they have Amazon in tow. Now, don't forget now, just because they don't have Amazon in tow, they're not losing much here. They're only losing distribution because PBC pays for their own production, and it's a revenue sharing situation where they don't get any guarantees. So they could go elsewhere.
Yep, that
Where
is true.
elsewhere is, I don't know, but they could go elsewhere. So who
Yeah,
knows?
you know what? And once again, guys, think. Well, let's just ask Rick so he can actually, well, tell you what he knows. I'm going to ask you then, Rick. Remember though, why is PBC even in this situation doing a distribution deal with Amazon?
Because Showtime closed his doors and Al Heyman blew himself out with Fox previously, with Showtime, with all of them. I mean, he was with ESPN at one time. They got rid of him. They got rid of him at NBC/NBC Sportsnet.
Yep.
They got rid of him at Bounce. Bounce of smaller shows, but they still got rid of his ass. And he lost the ITV deal in England. The best of my knowledge, he's lost 11 networks over the years. I believe it's 11. I've got it written down somewhere here, but I believe it's 11 he's lost since he's formed PBC in 2015.
Yep. And I don't see anyone foolish enough to invest in PBC when he's lost money for everybody. So how do they do this, Rick? And look, it's been rumored from not just you, from a lot of other people in this business that, yeah, this is it. Because let's just face facts. What have you heard about Tank versus Frank pay-per-view numbers with Benavidez in the co-main event?
Well, my prediction was always under 200,000 homes. And Jed Goodman, who's a wired-in guy in the TV world, he reported that it did between 150 and 220. I don't know where it got such a rangy number, but this thing could have done. My 200 was a prediction pre-fight. Yep. It was not an actual. It was an opinion of mine. It wasn't an actual number, and they ran with that number.
Being nice, and I thought you were being nice. Yeah, right. To be honest,
it probably did 140 to 150, which is a fucking disaster. Don't forget now, you not only had really two main events. You had Tank versus a no-name and Frank Martin, and you had a big-name David Benavidez in the co-feature against a former unified world champion who lost for the undisputed title. Was his only loss before that, even though he was a little on the back nine in the nail. But that being said, between the combination of two of them doing, let's say, 140, 50, 160, I mean, anything under 250 is a fail.
Yep.
And just pretty ugly. Pretty ugly.
And Rick, this was quite possibly the worst time to be negotiating with Tank Davis because of the commercial and critical success of his last event now, wasn't it?
Yeah, I would definitely say from a negotiating standpoint, that's true. But he's got to come into reality that he's fighting Frank Martin, not Ryan Garcia. Nobody knew Frank Martin except his immediate family. It just, he was a nothing. And, Ryan Garcia is a something. And just in the PR department and media craze and stuff like that, Ryan Garcia is a name. It's a funny thing. I always go by younger audiences, and I have nephews that are 30 and 32 years old.
Yep.
And they asked me about Ryan Garcia. They asked me about the usual suspects. Okay.
Yeah.
Nobody ever mentions Frank Martin. Nobody mentions David Benavidez. It's Ryan Garcia. It's Terrence Crawford. It's Shakur Stevenson. It's Teofimo Lopez. It's Fury and Joshua. Nobody asks, and they don't really ask about Tank, but they do ask about Ryan Garcia and they do ask about Shakur Stevenson. So, but nobody asks about Frank Martin. So I think that's very telling. And
Now, we're not
too
going to
many
go into the.
people, too many
Go ahead, sir. I'm
people,
sorry.
excuse me, too many, no, my fault. I interrupted you actually, but I had a final thought on that. Too many people came up to me, contacted me by phone, email, Twitter, Facebook, and they basically saying when it was announced, who's Frank Martin? Now, some of these are educated boxing fans. And if you weren't subscribing to Showtime, you didn't know who he was. And the one guy says, well, I got ESPN and I get ESPN Plus and I get the Zone. I didn't get Showtime. Another guy said, I may have saw him. I don't remember him. He must have not have impressed me. I mean, nobody had any good to say. Most of them didn't even know him. So that's part of your answer right there.
Mhm.
Tank needs a dance partner. He did
Yep.
respectable numbers when he fought Rolly. It did, I don't know, 225, 250. I don't remember exactly, but it
Yep.
did. And then, of course, with Ryan Garcia, this is a true synopsis of what Tank is. In January of 2023, he did, I don't care what's printed, 200. Okay, they said it did over 200,000 buys. Leonard Ellerby, when Steven Espinosa was interviewed and said that number was exaggerated, didn't do that number. He did 61,000 buys against Hector Luis Garcia. 3.5
Yep.
months later,
That's right.
3.5 months later, he fights Ryan Garcia and does 1,250,000 buys.
Yep.
Now, please don't tell me that Tank's popularity improved that much in 3.5 months.
Well, look. Here's the worst part about it, and this is the quandary that I think Crawford may in fact have, because he didn't fight until after he got released from the Huzgau. And then, well, whatever that was, the ankle brace, whatever. He hasn't fought. He didn't fight.
Who,
Like his
Crawford?
fight.
You
No,
say
no,
Crawford?
no. Listen. It's the same situation. I'm going to ask you: is it the same situation as Crawford? That I'm afraid too much time has elapsed, because it's going to be well over a year since he fought Errol Spence Jr. by the time he gets
Well,
back in the ring.
it'll be exactly a year. One was July 29th and one's going to be August 3rd. So it's a
Oh,
year.
yeah, you're right. It's exactly a year. Has too
Yeah,
much time
but
elapsed. And was that the problem with Tank Davis? Too
okay.
much time had elapsed since his
No,
Ryan fight.
okay. I'm going to tell you, I don't think that had that much of a big to do with it. I don't feel that way. I just don't think the interest is there, and I think the cheating, the piracy is so high that it's a scary thought. I think the piracy wasn't there because Ryan's buyers are not looking to cheat; they're looking to pay, and they don't have the sophistication to steal it. They don't know how because they're not brought up that way. Just being honest with you about it.
Well, I think also is that they don't look to watch more than maybe 3 or 4 events per year. And I think the primary reason why the overwhelming majority, and once again, it's statistics have proven this, the Amusio, the music tracking service. The problem with diehards and the reason why the overwhelming majority steal these things is because they want to see every single boxing event, which now, let's just face it, guys, every single one minus ESPN costs money. And that's the reason why diehards, statistics have proven, the overwhelming majority steal everything, even the subscription events, right?
Yeah.
Now, Rick, to the best of your knowledge, what are the subscription numbers of the Zone up to this point, currently?
In the U.S.?
Yep, in the
I
U.S.
don't know.
market. That's it.
I don't know. I haven't heard lately, but it is improving since they had that debacle during the when they came back from the pandemic, when they were charging people, and for the time it was down during the pandemic, and it was pretty ugly. But it's rebounded. They got new management there. Joe Murkowski's out. John Skipper's been out for a while now, and now Murkowski's out. Elfie Sherman replaced him, and they're coming around.
Yeah, well, my point is that guys, diehards, that's the reason why they steal, is because they want to see every single boxing event, and all of them cost money, minus ESPN, and that's a big problem for the boxing business, right?
Well,
That's a big problem.
I said that from the beginning, the Zone made a big mistake when they went to pay-per-view. They should have stuck with their fucking original model and not gone to pay-per-view. If they were gonna go to pay-per-view, okay, if they were gonna go to pay-per-view, you give their subscribers 50% off on the pay-per-view. That's it. If they were had to do that, okay, if they did, you'd give your own subscribers 50% off. You know, people are paying enough money to watch boxing. I know one thing. I watched a NASCAR race today that was 300 miles, okay, or 350 miles, whatever what it was. I didn't pay a fucking dime to watch it. I watched the Yankees versus the Atlanta Braves.
Oh, great game.
Two top teams.
Yep.
I watched them all weekend, Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday night. Apple TV on Friday night. A subscription once a month, no big deal. Saturday night, national TV, Fox, and today on Yes Network, and it was on WTBS nationally. I watched this for free. I watched boxing on Friday night on ESPN Plus on subscription. That's fine. I got no problem with that. But when you're a subscription, you shouldn't be charging for the occasional pay-per-view. In other words, if they make us pay for Fury Usyk, I get it. Okay, that's the biggest fight on the planet this year. I get that. Okay, and if they max the pay-per-views out at 4 a year, one every quarter, I wouldn't have a problem with it. If as long as it's 50% off to their customers, their subscribers by the year, then I got no problem with it. But they lost their whole shtick by saying there's no pay-per-view. They went against all their marketing, all their advertising, their main motto, their slogan. They went against everything. And they lost credibility with the people because of it. And a lot of people got disgusted. I know a lot of people that tried to cancel. They couldn't get a hold of them to cancel. They had to call their credit card company to cancel. So and that's not a good sign either. Okay. And when when you're asking somebody to pay $30 a month or $240 a year one shot, or $300 or $30 a month, you have to have some form of integrity. And the things that I mentioned just now in the last few minutes have all breached that integrity level of trust. And, you know, when you tell them you're going to give them something, you don't, is the one thing. And then the other thing is the payment part and the pay-per-view part. I mean, just those three things are real sticklers to people. And I don't have any problem with people cancel, because if I was the common person, where those dollars, my entertainment dollars to me mattered, how I spent them, I would cancel.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. So I don't blame them, and I've endorsed the Zone the Zone subscription platform and ESPN Plus both from the beginnings. I told everybody apps. I told everybody in 2017, apps are the future of boxing, and part of the reason why, because you can be anywhere to watch it on your phone, and not only that is boxing's worldwide. So you're getting fights from England, and you're getting fights from Saudi Arabia. You're getting fights from literally everywhere between the Zone and ESPN, literally everywhere. I mean, once a month in Montreal, maybe every 6 weeks. If it's not once a month, you're getting a show on like a Thursday night from Montreal on an ESPN Plus. You know, and you get shows from Australia. You get the Haney fights, Inoue, ever how you want to pronounce his name, Inoue. And you're getting some huge events on there and some mediocre size events. But you've got to, when I started my core business in 1991, okay, you can't be everything to everybody. And I do handle the occasional fighter that I advise, but my business is corporate and I stick to that. Do I sign an occasional fighter? I do. I'm in the process of signing a guy right now, but my business is more corporate. You stick to what works for you. And maybe it wasn't working for them. I don't know. But if they would have stuck with it, it would have worked. But you got to work the plan. And if you don't work the plan, it's going to be a disaster. And I think that I think it's a bad sign when my wife and I were looking over the credit card bill one day, and the $240 came in there for the yearly payment for the DAZN, and my wife says, "What?" Now my wife goes to the fights with me. Even she's well aware. She goes, "What's this charge?" And I says, "Oh, that's the DAZN." Oh yeah, that thing you watch on the app. Not thinking that's the fights, the same fights we go to when De La Hoya does his shows.
Yep.
Because but you got to stick to it. And you know what? I think that they got off the beaten path, and they went about it way differently. My problem with the whole thing is, if they had to go to pay-per-view for those bigger events, they just shouldn't have done those bigger events. They should have let them pass by the wayside.
That's right.
That's my feeling.
That's right. Unfortunately, they were kind of painted into a corner because they started just like Al Heyman, like Eddie Hearn, like Turkey Al Sheik right now. They started throwing money at fighters just to attract talent, signing Canelo Alvarez to that absurd contract. And now he's expecting to receive that guarantee every time, including, and I'm sure he's going to be expecting $35 million guaranteed for Berlanga. Rick, is he going to get that? And once again, is he going to be working? Is that going to be on DAZN? Because I can't see it being on PBC at this time, and he's not contractually obligated.
I think it's going to be on Amazon. If Amazon continues, it'll be on Amazon. If Amazon is not going to continue, obviously it won't be. But if they do continue, it will be on Amazon.
Yeah, I'm just wondering where they're going to get the money. Adam, do you have anything to add to this? And do you think PBC is going to continue? Adam?
Yeah. No. Sorry, the writing's on the wall. It's done. It's over and it's done. I mean, I don't know what more evidence that we need. The fire sales started for the fighters. They have no TV. They have no networks behind them. They're losing money on pay-per-views, and it's become a shit show.
Yeah, once again, guys, don't look at the reported purse for Tank Davis. What was reported to the Nevada State Athletic Commission, that's never the realistic purse or the realistic guarantee from the promoter. Rick, yeah, they couldn't have made any money on this Tank Davis, David Benavidez. I can guarantee you that David Benavidez expected at least $5 million because of the two guaranteed purses that he made prior to this. Even in the co-main event, I can guarantee you he wasn't taking anything less than $5 million. Tank, I can guarantee you he wasn't taking anything less than 10, closer probably to 15.
Right.
They
Now,
couldn't have made any money on this.
What did they list in Nevada for the purse for Tank? Do you know?
$3 million.
Okay.
And it's usually, that's 20% usually.
Well, the
They
reason
usually
why,
report 20%.
well, people ask me why they lie all the time on the guarantees on the purses and the monies on the back end is because of the fact that they have two separate contracts. There's an internal bout agreement and there's a commission bout agreement. The commission bout agreement says $3 million because you pay taxes. I mean, you pay a sanctioning fee to the WBA in his case of 3%. If you're paying not on $3 million, it's $90,000. If you're paying on $10 million, you're paying $300,000. So they save $210,000 that way.
That's absolutely right.
Now, if they fight in New York, they also save 9% entertainers tax. If they were
That's
fighting
right.
in New York or California, I think it's
Mhm.
7.75%, something like that.
Yep.
So there's different reasons to do it in different states, but there's always a reason. They always do it to cheat the organization.
That's absolutely right, and to help the fighter. That's absolutely right. Guys, before we move forward, want to say hello to our dear friends in the chat, a group that I herald as the smartest boxing fans on the net. Guys, Mini Meal, welcome to the show, sir. Thank you for supporting Big Rick on this day. Also, Anthony Manzano, he says, Rick, how hard is it to even get into the business when it comes to starting a promotion? Because fans have been thinking of doing a grassroots promotion as boxing promotion, a good old boys club. It's not hard to get into this business, is it, Rick? But
It's easy to stay in it. It's easy to get into it. It's hard to stay in it.
that's it. It's if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to be bleeding money. If you don't know what you're doing, and
Yep.
you just look at how many promotional outfits have you seen within your long tenure of boxing, one and done or just a few and done in this business.
There's so many of them. It's unbelievable. Some of them have lasted a bunch of years. Like America Presents started out in '90s, end of '96, and they went on. They went on for a bunch of years, but not that long.
Yep.
I don't know, maybe 5-6 years at the most. They went through 21 million. Then there was a company called TKO.
Yep.
Out of Texas, right?
Yep.
They went out. That was about 7 or 8 years ago, maybe 6 years ago, 7 years ago. They went out. They blazed through money. You just, I have a certain promoter that pays me a fee every month to help him save money on his shows, and I literally get 25% of what I save him. That's how I get paid. I don't want to mention the promoter's name. And he's saving quite a bit of money, saving 20 without paying me. I mean, totally saving $20,000 a show. So,
Yep.
and I'm seeing 25 that. So, I mean, it's just what I can do, what he can't do, and he
Yep.
didn't know how to do. Now, could he get rid of me now and just say, "Hey, I don't need you. I got all the tricks down"? Well, he could do that. Don't get me wrong. He could do that. But in the meantime, it just that's how it works. I mean, there's a lot of money being wasted that people don't understand where it's wasted. Guys that can stay 2 people in one hotel room, and the hotel rooms are $250 a night. They get their Tuesday night. The press conference is Wednesday. The weigh-in is Thursday or Friday. The fight's Friday or Saturday. They're there for 4 nights. And you save with the tax and everything on the rooms and the surcharges, you're saving about $900 just on for one camp on one room.
That's right.
And you multiply that amongst, let's say, 5 preliminary bouts, and all of a sudden you're saving $4,500 in hotel rooms. Now, this is not if it's not at a casino where you get free rooms, but that's just one example. I mean, it's crazy. It's just absolute craziness. And it just doesn't stop. There's just so many ways to cut corners.
That's right.
So.
And that's a primary reason why I have a working relationship, and I work with every promoter that stages events in San Antonio, just like the Robert Garcia event. We had the Gunther Hotel, the historic Gunther Hotel downtown San Antonio, sponsor the fighters' rooms and meal vouchers. And in exchange, we held the weigh-in in the ballroom there.
Yep.
And so there's so many ways, guys, that you can, but you have to understand this business. Soliciting sponsorship is a huge factor. Also, our modus operandi is to ensure that the promoter is in the black before the doors even open. That's always our goal. Rick knows this, and unless you know what you're doing, you're gonna bleed money. You're gonna bleed money. There was a promoter, Adam. What was that promoter? He was an attorney who just staged a fight card in San Antonio, and that's gonna be it for him.
Oh, Gamma's law firm?
Not Gomez. No. They're working with us. I'm talking about. There was an attorney who staged this
Oh,
event, getting Jesse James Leha to do the commentary. Do you remember that one? He hired Francisco Cabrera from Chicago. Do
I
you
have
remember that?
no,
He
no,
was the
I have
gentleman who
no.
fought Isaac Cruz on the Terrence
Oh,
Crawford
that's
pay-per-view.
Giovanni Cabrera.
Yeah, Giovanni Cabrera. My apologies.
Yeah, I don't know who.
Yeah,
I don't know who put on the
like
fight.
Rick. Why would you get a kid from Chicago who no one knows who he is? He's not even going to add 10 more tickets to your in sales to your bank account, and he's going to charge you anywhere between $10,000 and $20,000 because he's a
What,
main eventer.
to fight on the show?
Yeah. And I was
Hmm.
like, dude, you, why are you throwing the money away like that? He's not a ticket seller, even though he's ranked, and because he's ranked, he's going to charge you at least $20,000. Why? And he's a 10-round fighter. Why would you want that guy on your card? It's not going to result in any additional ticket sales. You're just throwing money away at that point. And so that's what Rick's talking about. Unless you're in this business, you're not going to know that.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
And that's it, guys. And that's it. So that's how Rick saves money for his clients. That's how I save money for my clients as well. But unless you know what you're doing, yeah, get ready to bleed money. So Mini Meal is an interesting question for our brother Adam Lopez. He says, Adam, what do you retired boxers do after boxing? This is interesting, guys. Adam, please expound on that.
Um, you just gotta, I guess, what retired boxers do after boxing. You just kind of have to find your way. Because I mean, if you've been doing this for like, I've been pro for 12 years. I've been doing this all in total for 25 years since I was like 8. So I mean, the whole thing is you just have to find your way because all you know is boxing, and you just gotta find what you like to do and stuff like that. And it's hard. I feel like that's the scariest time of being a pro is when it's all over. Because I
Yep.
mean, when it's all over and you realize like I can't do this no more, then that's when like your life begins. Your life begins as like a regular person, somebody that doesn't fight for a living, and then you
Career
have to,
number 2.
yeah, yeah. So then you have to figure out what to do. You have to figure shit out. But I
And you
mean,
know what? And Adam chose, and like a lot of prize fighters, and he got introduced into this line of work from another prize fighter,
yeah,
several, in fact. And it's one of the more mentally and physically challenging occupations that you can have in this country, and most people aren't aware of how mentally challenging it is. And it's the Postal Service. Adam, talk about that, how mentally challenging this is.
yeah. It's pretty mentally challenging, but it is relaxing because I mean, once you get on the route and you start doing what you need to do, then it just becomes old habit. And then, but when you first start, it is very mentally challenging. Like mentally challenging. So it sounds like they're saying retarded, but no, it's saying
No,
it's
not at all. Look,
it.
people don't understand, right?
Yeah,
Just go look up go research how taxing it is for a lot of people. The Postal Service, what urgency, what time restrictions, all of that. It creates a lot of stress, and a lot of people can't do it. And Adam, you, you were talking about like, oh my gosh, I don't think I can do this. This sucks. And you were like, wait a minute, I'm a prize fighter. I used to take punches in the face. Of course I can do this.
yeah, it's basically like that because I mean, I've had my wife. I was like, when I first started, I was like, dude, I'm gonna quit this. This fucking sucks. And then my wife's like, dude, you're not a pussy. And I was like, fuck, dude, she is
Yeah.
right. I am not. I was like, I just kept on going at it, and then eventually I got really, really good at it, and then that's it. Now it's just it's a job. It pays the bills. It pays very, very well. We got a good union behind us, so we kind of get away with like a lot, and I think I like it. Hopefully, I mean, I don't know if I could do it forever, but uh, it's a good job, and I'm thankful for having that job.
There it is. And there it is. Rick, isn't that fascinating, man? That the U.S. Postal Service for Uncle Sam. is stressful.
Well, I'll tell you a funny story. So I went to high school with a guy and now he's retired now because he's 65, 66. He's my age. And he went to work as a postman years ago. And to make a long story short, they used to have the dogs used to get after the postman, but then they came up with all these leash laws and all these pooper scooper laws and stuff like that. So after that it calmed down, he goes, I couldn't stand those dogs chasing me around, but now the job's so boring, I miss those dogs.
Well, look, that's right, and that's very insightful because you know what? That's why we have now every Thursday the Adam Lopez Roadshow en route when he's delivering his route. Yeah, we go live with Adam Lopez every Thursday now, and there you have it. There you have it. And I tell you what, I'm sure the boxing community appreciates that, Adam. I know we always do, and so you've been a much welcomed addition to the team. Boxing or Bruce Gas, Boxing, Jazz, and more. Guys, if you haven't already, please go subscribe to my brother Bruce. He says, salute Joe, Rick, and Adam. Salute to you, my friend. Thank you for being here.
Thank
Also,
you, Bruce.
Khalid, thank you for being here, my friend. Always good to see you here. Boxing Lifer, salute to you, and thank you for supporting. And he says, have the tank numbers come in yet? They're never going to be announced, but Rick, we already talked about that. And Khalid says this. I don't know if this is a joke, but yeah, it's far from reality. My inside source tells me that Tank versus Frank has sold 500,000. Chingao. And I've got some oceanfront property to sell you in San Antonio. Yeah, that's not reality, guys. Psycho Boxing Fan Watts, welcome to the show, sir. Thank you for supporting Rick on this day. Also, Juan, thank you for supporting Rick. Big Luke from New York. My Wi-Fi went down in the middle of ESPN Plus card. Hate technology. We love you, Luke. Thank you for being here supporting Rick. Also, Boxing Library says, Khalid, I recommend you dump your inside source because he's way off. Yeah. Jesus M. Saludos, Joe and Rick. Saludos to you, my friend. Adam Hurley says, a lot of people want to see Tank versus Loma, but wouldn't Tank versus Tio be a bigger fight? Rick, your thoughts on this?
Yes and no. Tank would want more, and so would Tiafimo would want a lot more than Tank would to fight Loma, and Loma would to fight Tank. So it's actually a standoff as far as net profits go. So I think they're going to do Loma first. I think they're going to be hard pressed to put Tank in with Tiafimo right now. I think they're going to go with the safer bet with Loma.
Yeah, look, Teofimo Lopez is suffering from Devin Haney disease, and that's a skewed market value, a skewed sense of worth. And we're going to get to that in a second. Also, 26 Go, thank you for supporting Rick on this day. And says, well, hold on. Rick, this is a question for you, brother, because I have no idea. Joe, when are Crawford fight tickets going on sale? For the August 3rd fight, what's the delay? Rick, do you have any idea?
I have no idea.
Well,
None.
we'll find out for you. Thanks for bringing it up. Also, Jesus M says, Rick, sponsors would rather throw away money at golf than boxing, sad to say. And why is that, Rick?
Because golf has a definitive amount of holes, 18 holes for the day, and 18 holes the next day, and 18 holes the next day, where boxing can end in 1 minute, and then you're sitting there, spend all this money for commercial time, and you don't get the commercials. So it's a problem.
That's it, guys. Let's go back to, though, and let's reintroduce this by playing the theme song.
Maybe,
Teddy.
just maybe, it's time for Rick Glaser's Twitter watch. Bang!
Oh, thank you, Teddy. Thank you, Teddy. Hold on. I didn't have it pulled up. My apologies, guys. Here we go. Number 2, the deuce. Hearing some hashtag PBC fighters are nervous because their money was put in care of Al Heyman to invest it. And Heyman hadn't been heard from since December 18th, 2023. That's 7 months ago. Continued, it says, I would be very nervous if I were them. Hashtag boxing. That's not an unusual thing in terms of allowing your manager to make an IRA account putting aside a good portion of your money that you can't touch for at least 20 years. That's what Mike Miller does for all of his clients. That's what a lot of smart managers do for their clients. But Al Heyman, it wasn't too smart to invest with him. Why are people getting nervous, Rick?
Because they can't get a hold of him. I know two people that did invest with him that I've heard through their people, and they can't get a hold of Heyman at all on the phone. They've sent all kinds of stuff to Heyman lackeys, and still nothing. Heyman never said where he was investing this money, or never showed him any documentation, I understand, and we'll see what goes on here. It could be very, very interesting.
Wow, could we be looking at the Bernie Madoff boxing, Rick?
I'd hate to group in a guy who stole billions and billions and billions with a shortstop like Al Heyman, but that same type of situation, but just a lot less money, of course.
So are you saying that's an insult to Bernie Madoff? Oh, Chingo. Here it is, number 3. The belts matter a lot to maintain maximum strength at the negotiating table and bigger commercial appeal. Haney's free agency romping days really have come to the end, as he's now lost luster since his fight with Ryan Garcia, no matter what the official outcome will be. And that was obviously before the official ruling of the New York State Athletic Commission. And since then, Haney has come out saying that, well, look, I know, he's saying, I know, quote unquote, I know that this is a result of what's transpired since the Ryan Garcia fight. And the Haney Martin purse bid numbers prove this. Now, Rick, do the Martin purse bid numbers actually prove anything? Except that he's not that big of a draw.
Well, you got a double issue. Nobody's looking to fight. Nobody's looking to watch Sandor Martin. Nobody knows him over here, really. Even though he lost a disputed decision to Teofimo. It's a combination of a lot of things. It's a combination of them being a free agent, not having a promoter back them up, is the biggest fault.
Yep, that's it. And once again, does free agency, if you're not a big star, is free agency a good thing?
No. The problem with the Haneys want the freedom and the bragging rights to being promotional free agents and having their own promotional company. There's Haney Promotions, which basically exists in name only. Yep. And but they want to reap the benefits of having a guy like Eddie Hearn back, and it doesn't work like that.
That's right.
Hearn came out publicly and said so. Why am I bidding in this fight? I have no obligation. They don't have any obligation to me. I don't have any obligation to them. They're free agents. They have their own promotional company. Haney Promotions. He said it himself. So he's not Canelo. Right. He's not even Crawford. Certain fighters can get away with it and certain fighters can't. Crawford's getting away with it, but very few guys can do that. Canelo gets away with it, but very few guys can get away with it.
And so why is Devin Haney threatening to file suit against Ryan Garcia?
Well, because he says because of the PEDs that he lost the fight, which he didn't lose the fight. Those left hooks were landed by PEDs. Those left hooks were landed because he had no defense. And he has got a low ring IQ and doesn't have the brains to get out of the way. So those it's like the Bobby what's his name Barry Bonds thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's two different issues. The PEDs made you hit the ball longer, yes. But you had to make you had to have the hand and eye contact to be able to hit the ball in the first place to make it go longer. And steroids didn't do that.
And I tell you what, now that we only have about 15 minutes left with Rick, let's address the pink elephant in the room. Rick, why did New York State Athletic Commission, understanding that their findings, well, let's just face it, it wasn't enough time to come up with a conclusive investigation, right? So with an inconclusive result, and that's what we projected, because there wasn't enough time before making a. Why did they lay the hammer down on Ryan Garcia?
I don't think the New York Athletic Commission wanted to go through that expense, especially when Ryan Garcia's chances of fighting New York State are very slim. Again, because he's a West Coast fighter, it was a one-off deal because there was no stadiums available on the West Coast. It just didn't fit anybody's agenda and modus of operandi and futuristic earnings. In other words, if he was guaranteed the fight, let me just explain this to everybody and give everybody an idea. If he could fight in the fall again, if he was going to fight New York in the fall again, like he was a New York fighter, he was going to fight in the fall again, that motherfucker would have been suspended for 4 months, and 2 of it would have already happened since April 20th, and he'd be ready to go in September. But they know he's not going to fight there again, so then they can't make any more money with him, so they suspended him for a year.
Yep.
Okay, instead of 4 months or 6 months. That's what really happened. Now, if they would have suspended him for 6 months and they would have taken it from the date of the fight, you got 4 months to go. Okay, he could have fought in October or November, let's say November. So basically speaking, what's happened here is, in truth, they couldn't make any money with the guy, so they said, fuck it, we'll suspend him for a year, which is basically 10 months left because of the fact that, it counts from the day of the fight, which is April 20th. So we got 10 months to go.
Yep. And is this an indictment of intent to defraud by Ryan Garcia, this ruling?
Well, it is, but like I said, it wouldn't have been any year if he was fighting in New York State next. They were making all those tax dollars and all the entertainment dollars.
Indeed.
That's my point.
There it is. Adam, since we have a special popular demand, let's get more Adam Lopez, one of the best to have ever done it. Hey, man, it was a joy to watch him fight in the ring. But we enjoy your take outside of the ring, bro. What were your thoughts when you heard all of this? I know I went on my diatribe this past Friday. Your thoughts on all of this, Adam? Hello.
Yeah, about Devin Haney.
About Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia getting the year, and Devin Haney, as well as his fans, celebrating, saying that that's proof that Ryan Garcia cheated. This proves an intent to defraud and an intent to cheat Devin Haney in the ring.
It's the dumbest shit ever, because then he's basically like he's basically admitting like that he is a ruined fighter. He knows deep down he is. He's saying that I'm gonna sue you for financially hurting me, and now you're bringing down my stock. That's what happens when you get fucked up. Your stock gets lowered. I got beat. I was number 2 in the world by WB. I got beat. I got dropped out of the rankings. That's what happens. It's sad when it happens. And if you get beat like that, it happens worse. And it's the dumbest shit. He thinks he truly thinks that he is the pound for pound king, and that he is one of the best fighters to ever do it, because he's like, oh yeah, well, you're hurting me financially, and my my star has gone down. Yeah, that's what happens. But I mean, it's like a detriment to their character too. The whole Haney's character is that they claim to be like street dudes. Fucking Bill Haney's a drug dealer. Yeah, he got popped for selling coke or whatever, and he gets on there with Floyd, and he's talking about Floyd. Oh yeah, I'm street this, I'm street that 50-0, they're doing shit on the streets.
Yeah, but they're on the street. There's street people, but they're suing people in court of law.
Yeah, exactly. I'm saying, like, bro, you're giving it up to the state to sue them. How fucking not street is that? You're not a
Well,
you're not a gangster. You're taking it to
I
the
had
court.
something happen similar to me not too long ago. This guy's saying his uncle's a mobster, which he is. There's no question about that. I know who the guy is. I know it's his uncle, and this was back several years ago. And the guy, I basically threatened the guy. He says, "I'm gonna go to the cops." He says, "You hold it. The minute ago you're bragging about your uncle being a maid guy, which he is, and now you're telling me you're gonna go to the cops. Which one is it, you fuck?"
Yeah,
shit.
that's
Same thing.
that's so fucking stupid, dude.
Oh, Adam,
It's
tell
like
us how you really feel.
yeah, you wanna do some gay shit and go to the courts, but like you don't want to take it out. Like if that was me, I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get payback in blood. I want that. I'm gonna just fuck you up. But he's like, no, I'm gonna go to court because I'm mentally damaged. It's like, dude, just fucking say that you're a fucking queer, dude. Just say
He,
that. Just
he
say
was
that
on
you're
the,
It
gay.
is
he was
Pride
on
Month,
the
brother.
listen. I was there ringside. He was actually knocked down 6 times. The referee gave him Harvey Doc kept giving him breaks. They
Exactly.
only counted 3 official knockdowns. He was on his back so much I thought he was a hooker.
Well, it is Pride Month, everybody.
Damn.
Well, I tell you what, guys, in about 8 minutes, we're going to continue this episode. We're going to hang around with Adam, get his thoughts on a lot more. But while we have Rick, let's do one more. Twitter watch. Here's number 4. Keep this in mind. If the fight happens in the Tank versus Loma, Tank will have to knock out Loma to win because he won't out hustle and outbox Lomachenko. Hashtag boxing. First of all, Rick, do you think this fight will happen?
Well, it's aiming towards happening. They are talking. That's official. Top Rank and PBC officials are talking. So I think it happened, and I think it really does happen because ESPN's got pay-per-view. Aram's got a deal with ESPN, so they don't need Amazon to do this deal. You might probably see it on ESPN and not on Amazon, or maybe both.
Indeed, I actually like and once again, when you consider that ESPN and Top Rank, they haven't had a big event all year. We're already in June. And I think there's a lot of pressure for Bob Arum to deliver this.
Hold it. What did you say?
Yes, sir. There hasn't been I said there hasn't been a big event from Top Rank and ESPN this year, and it's already June.
What about you must have well, as far as Top Rank, you forgot about Fury and Usyk. And you forgot about Nui and Neri. And they were supposed to do Beterbiev and Bivol, but Beterbiev got injured. That was a Top Rank deal.
I agree that was a Top Rank fight, but that was paid for by the Saudis, and it was in a time slot that was doomed for failure on pay-per-view. This one would generate, I think, great numbers.
Bivol Beterbiev was free TV over here. It was going to be on ESPN and ESPN Plus.
That's absolutely right. That's absolutely right. I'm talking about pay-per-view, sir. Once again, there hasn't been anything that's been prime time. Look, I think, and look, guys, we staged a fight party for Tank versus Frank at Dave & Buster's. It was a packed house. And Chris Armitage, the GM of Dave & Buster's, was extremely happy. Rick, do you think this is happening more and more across the country, that people are just going and supporting the businesses that actually show pay-per-view for free? I think that's
I don't know because
a good thing?
I don't know because it's not happening in my region. Nobody's showing those fights in bars and restaurants in my area. Just nobody, literally nobody.
Well, I tell you what, look, it is and this is the problem when you take now. How many club shows are there being staged in New York at this time?
Not many.
That's the whole reason why. I mean, guys, we stage at least one club show a month, sometimes 2. Boxing is thriving here in the San Antonio market. That's why these events do well. Out of sight, out of mind, guys. And one of the reasons why boxing is so healthy in Texas, we don't tax fighters. or contractors or promoters out the yin yang. We want to make it actually a successful venture for everyone involved. And that's the, and once again, our state athletic commission, the TDLR, they're very, very obliging. They want to help fighters,
I
help
will
promoters
tell
succeed.
you, I will tell you, you are 1000% correct. Greg Alvarez does a fabulous job as director of your state athletic commission, or combative sports, I think they call it. But make a long story short, Greg Alvarez does a fantastic job. I have nothing but the highest respect for Greg, and he loves boxing, and it shows.
Yeah, indeed. Greg is a great guy. He's been through a lot, and he's got my undying support. But you remember the last gentleman he took over for? A
Yeah.
gentleman by the
Oh
name
my
of
God,
Dickie
my
Cole.
buddy Dickie Cole.
Yep, Dickie Cole. What a great man. Unfortunately, though, talk about nepotism. What were your thoughts when Lawrence used to get all the big assignments in Texas?
Well, I can I say something to you about that?
Let's hear it.
I really didn't have a problem with it, because I do get it. Okay. I do get why he did it and stuff like that. It wasn't like it wasn't his son and we wondered, why is this guy getting all the assignments? At least we know it's his son, and why he was getting all the assignments. So it was clear in front of our eyes.
Yep.
But, I mean, I don't know. I didn't have a problem. I had less of a problem with Dickie as a commissioner than I do with Lawrence as a judge.
That's an understatement, my friend, because I tell you what, Lawrence, and I love Lawrence, he's a great guy. And Adam knows Lawrence, he's a great guy. And so was his father, Dickie. Long, rest in peace, long live Dickie Cole. He was an amazing guy, and everyone loved him. But let's just face facts, guys. Lawrence was quite possibly at the time the worst active referee in boxing, the one who got all the big assignments in Texas. And he was absolutely terrible, guys.
Hey, Joe, do you know Matt Stolo?
Matt Stolo. No, I don't know Matt Stolo. Who's he?
It's a Jewish guy from, he's in his probably about 50 now. He lives in San Antonio. He's a big WBC supporter. He's a big boxing supporter, but WBC in particular. And Dickie introduced me to him one time, and I already really knew him from another mutual boxing friend at a show in San Antonio in like 2003. And in the meantime, as Dickie says right there, he's the commissioner, right out loud, he goes, listen, I want to introduce the only two Jews in the joint to each other.
That's awesome.
You can't make this shit up. I said,
no. Look, guys. If you don't know that Rick Glaser is a Jew, he is so Jewish. Yeah, he only watches football to see the coin flip in the beginning.
Yeah, I'll get the quarterback. What? Hey, but Joe,
Yes,
he was. I mean, you can't make this shit up with Dickie. And then the one time he had a fighter, and the guy had the what do they call those? The black kids wear the like the braids. What do they call them? They wear their hair that certain way. I can't remember the name of it. But cornrows. That's it. Cornrows. And Dickie says to him, he says to the guy, he says, you couldn't have got it. You could. He was from out of state. The guy. He said, before you came to Texas, you couldn't have got a haircut. Oh my God. It just the Dickie was one of a kind. He was a great guy. He was a great guy.
Dickie.
When I first time I met him, he says, I got a new job for you. He says to me, he says, what's that? He says, I want you to watch me get drunk and make sure nobody robs me.
Oh my gosh. I tell you what, guys. And look, most people within this business, they'll tell you, we're event. The most fun it is, the real fun out of it, and the real joy is getting to see all your favorite people within this business that you only see
the camaraderie amongst other boxing people. Yeah, of course.
It. That's it. That's the real fun. And if you've never seen, I don't know if he does this any longer. He's accelerated age, but if you've never seen Bob Arum get tanked, boy, that's
Oh,
something to behold.
he he was in a bar drinking with Frank Warren two or 3 years ago in England after the pandemic. So whenever it was, 2 3 years ago, and they were in a bar for 12 hours drinking.
Yep.
Okay, 12 hours. I mean, that's like, I mean, and they were bragging about it. Each of them were bragging about it.
Yep. And look, guys. Yeah, it was stuff of legend. It was almost giving the Rat Pack a run for their money.
Yeah.
Bob Arum, Artie Palullo, Vinny
Well,
Pazienza.
don't mention Ari Poole in the same sentence as Bob Arum. Oh my God,
Oh,
it's
I'm
disgusting.
sorry. I'm sorry. Well, yeah,
Oh,
he's part of the. Well, no, I can't even say that, can I? His affiliation with the family in Philadelphia.
his associations in his mind only. Trust me. Anyways,
Oh,
I'm it's 11:02 over here. I'm out of here. Adam can take over where I left off, bro. Okay,
Gotcha.
and I'll
Gotcha.
let you
Thank you,
guys
Rick.
go, and I'll see you next Sunday night. Okay.
awesome,
Later,
Rick.
Rick.
Thank you for all your
Thanks,
time, my
everybody.
friend. God bless
Bye
you,
bye
brother.
now.
Have a
See you
Thank
wonderful
next
you.
Sunday.
week. And I tell you what, let's get this out of the way for a second. Hold on, let me get that out of the way. And Adam, I tell you what, man, hold on. It says 26 go. Welcome to the show. Story. It says Adam Cowbell. You know what this show needs? More cowbell. More Adam. I tell you,
That's a
get
good
real.
reference. That's a good
And
Christopher
I
Walken.
love that skit. Yeah. And he goes, Adam. Yes, sir. Not Marsha, but Adam. Yeah. Alberto says, yeah, I get this also. The Davis fight was shown at bars and restaurants in California. I think Rick lives in the more rural area of New York. He lives in Buffalo, New York. And look, here's what I mean is out of sight, out of mind. They don't stage any more club shows in New York. It's a thing of the past because the government there has made it virtually impossible for any promoter to make money. They tax the hell out of it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the reality, guys. And once again, Adam say like put it this way. What is Lou DiBella's fight series called there? New York Boxing. It's now staged in Philly. Yeah.
Just
And
easier.
look, and look, he remains a Democrat to this day. Like, how foolish can you be? You're still voting for the party that's made it pretty much your business extinct in New York. So anyway, that's a lie. That's the only political thing that we'll actually say on this show, unless Adam wants to delve deeper in it. But I tell you what, Adam, we need to get your thoughts, brother. And we're just scratching the surface when we asked your opinion of Devin Haney. Now, once again, Ryan Garcia, were you shocked when he got a year? And once again, I got the skinny as to why. And guys, we're going to try and get Ryan's dad on the show. Wait a minute. I just revealed who told me all this. Oh, shit. I wasn't supposed to. But from what I was told, New York, because their investigation was inconclusive. And Rick had the beat. They didn't want to spend the additional money to have a proper investigation. They could not prove that it wasn't supplement contamination, but from the information that the manufacturer gave them, it wasn't their doing either. So it wasn't enough time. They didn't want to spend the money. So they said, look, we're going to give you a slap on the wrist, 6 months. And then all of a sudden, Ryan just continued to lambaste everyone in boxing, including the commission, saying that everyone was against him, that the fix was in. People just wanted to get him. They told him to shut up, and he wouldn't. Adam, your thoughts now on this ultra maroon, because of his big mouth on social media, getting the year. And he had to lobby to get only a year. They wanted to throw the book at him and give him 2.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, they should have done a whole investigation, though, correct? I feel
That's
like
their job.
that's
That's
their
their
job. Yeah,
job.
that's what that's what the taxpayers are paying. That's what the promoters. That's what everybody involved is paying them to do their job.
Well,
To invest in
apparently,
it.
all that money. Apparently, though, all of that money is going to illegal aliens in New York.
Yeah, that's typical New
Oh
York.
shoot, that's
Just
another political thing.
yeah. Typical New York is just fucking up. Typical New York and fucking up with DA's a piece of shit, dude. I mean, it's a fucked up place. But I mean, other than that, I mean, with Ryan Garcia, I mean, doesn't have a gag order. He can say whatever he wants, and I mean, it shouldn't they shouldn't use his words against them to punish him. He should be able to say what he wants. It's free speech. But I mean, everybody's saying like, well, don't piss off the commission because they're gonna fuck you up. They're gonna give you a harsher sentence. They're gonna throw the book at you. It's like if they actually did their job and investigate, they'd see it's just supplement contamination. That's all it is. A billionth of a gram. And then you have people online saying, "Oh yeah, well he used a cutter. He used a cutter, so he probably had some real PEDs in there." It's like, dude, why would you use Austrian as a cutter? That's illegal. Like
Yep.
that makes no fucking sense what they're saying. And he's like,
Well,
"Oh,
look,
well, they could be taking Austrian just straight up." It's like, but they're using a cutter, so that's why it's so minimal. It's like, dude, you're just reaching. Just say it.
well,
Just say
look. One thing that I've discovered since, and this is one thing I discovered back when I used to cover the PED issue, now almost 20 years ago when I first got into this business as a beat writer. I stopped covering it, one, because I found out that everyone at the elite level are doing it. Now, I'm not the only one who blew the whistle on that and started talking about that being muzzled. And Paulie Malignaggi said the same exact thing. In fact, most fighters will tell you it's the worst kept secret in boxing. But here's the big, and so it becomes a matter of, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. No, the real matter is, I can't believe this guy failed the test. Victor Conti, guys like Memo Heredia, they laugh at people who fail these tests. Now, Victor Conti has already been outspoken saying that, yeah, this is an IQ test. In reality, guys, Devin Haney, why is he working with Victor Conti then?
because he's the best guy.
Yeah.
He's the master. He's the wizard. Like if I
Wait a
wanted to
minute.
use,
Wait a minute. You mean it has nothing to do with Devin Haney trying to be a clean fighter?
no, I mean, okay, what he's using? He's using a hyper. He uses a hyperbaric chamber. He uses a bunch of other stuff to just get your VO2 max and everything like that. They have that trainer Remy there. I mean, they have a bunch of stuff, but I mean, other than that, it's just you're using him because he's the face. He knows the ins and outs of everything. He knows the half-lives. He knows this. He knows the best chemicals. He can supply the chemicals. He can make the chemical, like he can make the
Yep.
drug. It's like, dude, he is legit the plug. He knows everything and anything and everything about this, and you're not going to get caught with him.
And
He
the
made
same
it.
thing with
Yeah.
Member Heredia. He makes EPO. He makes his own EPOs because that's what he went to school with. He genetically designs this stuff.
Yeah, like
And-
you have Victor Conti who literally made a drug called the Clear. Like,
Yep.
I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna get caught with this guy. If this guy's working with me, I'm not gonna get caught. And none of his fighters do get caught, except Andre Berto. He gets caught. Andre Berto gets
and
caught.
Sugar Shane Mosley.
Yeah, Shane Mosley gets caught.
Well, look. So my point is, what is Devin Haney crying about then, brother?
No, he's just like I say, he's a fucking bitch. I mean, that's it. Like he's just a pussy dude. That's suing him and suing Ryan Garcia in court is gotta be the gayest shit I ever heard in my life. It's like, bro, I want to take your head off. I'd put a hit out on the street before I see you in court. Like you look at any of the guys, look at Miguel Cotto. Like Miguel Cotto, the guy literally cheated. He put plaster of Paris in his gloves, physically assaulted him, broke his face. He was crying tears. His tear ducts got destroyed. His face got destroyed. And like he lost a little bit of himself in that fight, and to see him come back and have just as good as career at welter, at junior welter and welter in 154 and 160 just shows how great Miguel Cotto is. And then to come back and beat Margarito, you can make the case, okay, well Margarito got his face broken by Pacquiao, and that's why he wasn't. Yeah, that's true, but it still takes a lot of guts and it takes a lot of courage to come back and beat the guy that did you like that. And he came back and he beat him like that. And guess who won in the end? Miguel Cotto won.
That's
So
right.
good triumphs over evil every day.
That's it.
That is very true.
That's
And
it.
for Devin Haney to be like, well, I'm going to sue you because mentally I'm not there. It's like, dude, you mentally weren't there when you fucking hung out with P Diddy. We know what happened. We know what happened with you and him. Yeah, we know you're mentally scarred after that party, dude.
You
He
mean
was
to tell
wearing
me you
he
mean to
was
tell me
wearing
Devin Haney stayed after midnight?
that dude. Yo, he was wearing goggles in his face, and that wasn't for the water that was hitting him in the face. That was something else.
Yeah. No, guys, no, this isn't Adam Blue Nose Lopez. This is Mantequilla, right? Adam's already retired, right? Hold on. QT, hey, welcome to the show, sir. He says Devin has ruined his career in a year. It'll be a case
Yes.
study, and I'm not talking about the beatdown he took. His promotion was trash. He could have
Yes,
just been the
exactly,
clean-cut
QT.
fighter kid. Indeed,
QT
guys. Look,
also said something really good too. Oh yeah, that's what I love boxing, but I hate the length that taking fans and these narratives outside the ring
well,
bullshit.
look, guys, and once again, for every business, you cater to the fans,
Yes.
right? This is what the fans claim that they want. All this nonsense that means absolutely nothing on social media. Why do you think channels like Showbiz the Adult and the Boxing Voice are so popular? Because
Yeah.
that's all it is. And look at that. What's his name? Two Tub, the rhinoceros. What's his name?
I'm not
Anyway, that's
sure.
why do you think that know nothing twat is as popular as he is? Because that's all he does is peddle nonsense and noise. T. Sanders, welcome to the show, sir, and thank you for supporting Adam. And Rick says, I had no idea Haney worked with Victor. Yep. You can't make this shit up, guys. And Haney can't accept that loss just yet. Adam is right, in my opinion. He's a cat. Well, I like the term willow. But yes, he's the thing that comes right before that. Yes, you can't make this. Once again, guys, they should have. Instead, this guy wants to be so much like Floyd Mayweather. It's stupid.
It's insane.
Like all the flashy jewelry. He even uses the same talking points, like the leading up to the Ryan Garcia fight. The same thing that Floyd said about Arturo Gatti, he said the same thing about Ryan Garcia. He's a C-level fighter at best.
Yeah, and like one of the things too is QT said
It's
something pretty
cringe,
smart.
man.
He said there's going to be a case study about Devin Haney, and there should be a case study about just like people trying to copy Floyd in general. They like code switch automatically to have his same stutter, to try to talk exactly like
Oh
him.
my gosh,
And
yeah.
Floyd wasn't actually a great talker. He would just talk. He would talk a little bit of shit. He really spoke in sound bites and making fun of people. But other than that, he wasn't a great talker. He just said, "I'm 50-0. I'm undefeated. You can't beat me. No one could beat him," and that was it. And that
Yep.
was his major selling point, is he was undefeated. And now everybody kind of wants that same selling point. Well, Haney definitely wants it. He wants that selling point because he has no other selling point. He's not
But
a
he can't
knockout
fight like
artist.
him.
He can't
But he
fight
doesn't
like
have the
him.
reflexes. Doesn't have the
Yeah.
reflexes. Doesn't have the
Doesn't have the
overall
chin.
skill set.
Doesn't
Yeah,
have the
doesn't
inside
have a
game. He
chin.
doesn't have a chin.
Look, say what you want about Floyd. That guy was so mentally and physically tough. He was a dog. In the gym, no one worked harder than Floyd. And Devin Haney's a good kid, and he works really hard, but he's a big fat pussy. Nowhere near the kind of mental fortitude, right, that Floyd has, right? And so Rodney Evans, welcome to the show, sir. Thank you for supporting Rick and Adam. Says, Joe, to get this correct, New York State Athletic Commission was going to give Ryan a 6-month ban because he wouldn't shut up, and they gave him a year, and they wanted to give him 2. His representation had to talk them into just giving him a year. But yes, they were going to give him a slap on the wrist, just like they did Canelo. And why? Because it wasn't enough time. When they set the date to make that ruling, I already knew it. And I'm like, guys, this is going to be deemed inconclusive. It's not enough time to determine this because this is a product of supplement contamination. But then the manufacturer did their testing and said, wait a minute, it's not on our end. So it made things, it put the New York State Athletic Commission in a terrible position. They didn't know what to do because they said, look, we have to set precedent here. We have to cover our own ass, so we need to give you something. But do we believe that this is, look, when the time it was, he tested positive, one thing that led in Ryan's favor was the fact that he didn't test positive on any of the tests during camp. Okay, he was tested a lot during camp, and none of them came back positive. The only ones that come back positive were the day before and the day of the fight, and it was just that small degree of Osterine.
Yes.
And so they're like, well, that's of no consequence. That really points to supplement contamination. And then when you look at the history, recorded history of supplement contamination over the past 10 years, finding it in over 70 different supplements, and a lot of them not even listing Osterine on the label. So they're like, you know what? We have no doubt that this is the case. And what did Ryan do? Just shot his mouth off like an idiot, like a kid. And they're like, hey, you know what? We can't save you from yourself. Apparently, you can't save yourself from your big ass mouth and your affinity of talking shit online. So you know what? We're going to throw the book at you, kid. We're going to teach you a lesson. Ryan, we're going to get political here. What do you think? Do you think any of this, their willingness to throw the book at him, even though everything pointed to this being supplement contamination, does this have anything to do with him supporting Donald Trump vocally?
I mean, yeah, kind of. You would kind of think that. I mean, as soon as that video came out, then everything started happening. But they got the ball. They got the ball rolling. They were like, "All right, let's bring this kid down."
Well, look what New York just. Look what New York just did to Donald Trump.
Yeah, Alvin Bragg, dude. Like,
once again, guys, 1 + 1 makes 2. No, I'm kidding, guys. Look, this is all Ryan's doing. They're like, look, there's nothing you can do about this. Definitively, we've got you by the balls because you tested positive. It was in your system. Now, did it actually enable you to beat Devin Haney? We don't think that has anything to do with it. No one in their right mind who is knowledgeable of it does. But, well, we've got a job to do. And where we were going to give you a slap on the wrist, now, smart guy, we have the ability to ban you for 2 years. How do you like that? And so, yeah, his team really had to lobby to get him only a year. But make no mistake about this, guy. This is no proof that he actually had an intent to defraud or cheat. And Adam, what do you think of Haney's fanboys? Just proclaiming this. See, this is proof he cheated.
Yeah, it's so terrible. Like they're basically they're saying, well, it's a technicality, and they're like stuck to that technicality. Like, oh well, he had it in his system. You're not supposed to have anything in the system. Okay, what if it was marijuana? What if he was smoking weed? What if you did coke? Would you say the same thing? He's not supposed to have that supplement, that substance in his system, and that's why he kept on hitting him with the left hooks.
Yeah. So once again, you know what you're looking at, though, Adam. You've got the advantage, brother, and anyone who does know what they're looking at, as our extended family does, understands that this had nothing to do with him whooping that ass on April 20th. But look, no. Mini Meal says, Joe, so Ryan could have kept his win? No, that was That
There
was
would,
a certainty that it was going to get changed to a no contest. But once again, does that, like we suggested and like we posed the question to you guys, does that even matter?
Yeah.
Adam, does that even matter?
keeping the win, Ryan Garcia
Yeah.
keeping his win. No, I mean, none of this. I mean, he should have kept the win, yes, and Devin should have never got it back. And it doesn't like. It's just to make him feel good. I mean, uh,
Well,
yeah.
look, guys, look. I will say this: Devin Haney is in a boy. He's in a quandary because once again, he's finding out now that he is well. Maybe he's not finding out now. He's blaming this all on the Ryan Garcia debacle. Oh, see, I was a big star. I was a big ticket seller. I was the A side until all of this happened. Dude, delusional much?
He couldn't even sell out Oakland. Yeah, he couldn't sell out Oakland.
We told you guys that he was going to be faced with this dilemma sooner or later, and I was surprised that it actually went this far because he's never been a ticket seller. In Vegas, how many tickets did he sell for JoJo Diaz? The JoJo Diaz fight in his hometown, Vegas.
Nothing, dude.
But like 4,000 seats. That's all, guys. And that was in his hometown of Vegas. Look, he can't sell tickets, guys. That's it. Oh, look at this. Rodney also says, and thank you for hanging with us, Rodney. We appreciate it, brother. Says, so Joe, what's your opinion on Haney suing? No. There's no criminal lawsuit. There is none because that's laughable, guys. What is he suing? What criminal charges would he be bringing up? You can't sue for legal assault. It's a sanctioned bout by the New York State Athletic Commission. So what would there be criminal about it? No civil suit? Yeah, he's doing it for money. And also, see, this proves it. Haney's going after. This is what his fans are saying. Well, see, so this proves it. This settles it. This is the reason why. Okay, Haney is pursuing this on a civil suit, right? That this proves it, that the only reason why Haney's market value has diminished so dramatically is because of the Ryan Garcia thing, and this proves it. No, this is all for perception, guys. Haney's not stupid, but I will say this, most of his fans are. That's the only reason why he's doing it. Now, keep in mind, he's pandering to the same fan base that he told Tank Davis turned down $30 million. Like anyone else would believe that nonsense. And that Haney's offering 25%. 25% of what? That Shakur offer was nothing but nonsense. And let's just prove it right here, guys. If that's the case, why is Haney crying over a depleted market value when he's a promoter? Now, once again, we all know that that's bullshit. He's doing it for tax purposes. He's never staged an event. How's his fighters doing? Now, look, if he were a real promoter, he would stage the event with Sandor Martin wherever he wants. He would have won the purse bid with $5 million or $6 million. Okay, but he didn't even bother. You know why? Because he can't. He doesn't have the infrastructure in place to stage an event. He hasn't even staged a club show ever. He's an opportunist, guys. And I'm sorry, the well is run dry. It's over. And he's just trying to do this for perception and trying to get a couple extra bucks because the gravy train has come to a screeching halt. Eddie Hearn even said it. Well, we don't have any obligation to Devin Haney. This is what you get when you think you're smart by becoming a free agent. But I'm here to tell you guys, free agency doesn't work unless you're Canelo, Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather. It doesn't, Oscar De La Hoya. It doesn't work unless you're a big star, a big ticket seller. Otherwise, you need the promoters by a collective to get your TV dates. That's it. If he were a big enough star, he'd get his own TV dates. He'd put on his own promotion. Now, who is the primary promoter in Canelo versus Jaime Munguia? I know that PBC was staging the event and organizing and promoting the event, but it was Canelo Alvarez Promotions. That was officially his very first. Haney, where's yours? If you've got the bread to offer Shakur Stevenson 25%, if you've got the bread to offer Tank Davis $30 million, then why are you crying about a depleted market value, you fraud? Adam, can I say any more about this?
Nope. Keep going, cook, dude. Keep going.
So now, what are his options? He's obviously not interested in keeping the WBC title because that fight, not only is it a stinker, it's going to make him look even worse, and it's not going to draw any eyeballs or tickets.
Yeah, and
This is a quandary. Go ahead, Adam.
I also hate that whenever he sees like he's in his situation, and then he sees like that Matias got beat, and so he's like, "Oh, I want that guy. That's the guy that I want." And I mean, the guy Liam, whatever his last name is,
Liam Perro.
Perro. That's it. Yeah, Perro. Perro's good, but he's not like amazingly good. He's a good fighter. He beat Matias. Matias was a little bit overrated, maybe, or he just had a bad night. But he wasn't screaming for Matias. He wasn't screaming for him when he was on his when he was looking like a monster in there. And he just takes opportunities when he can see him. Like you just said, he's an opportunist. That's what he does. He saw that Count Cambosis won the beat Tiafimo. Next thing he does, he signs a deal with Top Rank. He fights on Top Rank just to get that fight, just so he can fight the C-level guy to become undisputed. The once in a lifetime thing where a C-level guy wins undisputed. That's the guy he wants to fight. He's like, I want that guy. I'm like, dude.
Yeah, look, and yep. I tell you what. And once again, Haney was offering Shakur 25% of Bob Aaron's money. Well, that was news to Bob. Bob goes, "Okay, kid, let's put your money where your mouth is. Let's make this official and petition to the WBC to force this to purchase it." And what happens? No, I'm going up to 140. I can't make 35 anymore. Pusher.
And Shakur is so crazy. Shakur is so crazy and competitive.
Go ahead, sir.
He would probably go up to 140 just to get that fight. He'd go, dude,
Yeah,
I'll take that
would.
any day of the week. I've heard some crazy stories about Shakur when he was younger. His grandpa, Wally Moses, trained me for a couple fights, and they would tell me some stories about Shakur. And the amateurs, like this one guy, he had a cast in a tournament, and this one kid was just pissing him off so bad. And Shakur was like, I want to beat your ass so bad just to show you that I'm the best. And then kid breaks off his cast just to go put gloves on to fight that kid. And they were like, yeah, that was one of those the craziest thing I ever seen. It's like Shakur would take that challenge any day of the week to go up to 140 just to prove that I'm better than Devin Haney.
Yep, he would. He's got that competitive fire like his mentor, Terrence Crawford. Yes. I could see Terrence Crawford doing something like that also.
Yeah, I mean, but Terrence Crawford. Yeah,
but Haney's a willow, guys.
Yeah.
Chingao. Mini Meal asks a question for you, Adam. Adam, how does anyone beat Shakur?
I think the only way to beat Shakur is wait till he gets older and the reflexes go, because it doesn't look like it's slowing down anytime soon.
Yep. And once again, how difficult is that? Like, that's something you can't teach, Adam, is it? That mastery, that innate sense of range that he has.
Yes, the range, dude. He has the range, and he just gets out. There's reflexes, his jab, his punch variations. They're classic. I mean, he puts on a clinic every time that he goes out there, and like. I get people say, "Oh yeah, he runs and all this shit," but like if you really look, that's a guy that you do like to watch him for what he does, because he's so masterful at everything. Mini Mill goes, what type of style does Shakur have? The type where you hit and don't get hit. That's basically what he does, and he just embarrasses you. He does show glimpses of power, but I don't think that's what he does. He basically, when he sees that he can get you out, he'll get you out of there.
Look, the fight that I want to see, Adam, correct me if I'm wrong, because in my opinion, and they called him out, Oscar and William Zepeda, but I don't see this fight happening anytime soon. And Shakur, he's not the reason why it won't happen. In my opinion, correct me if I'm wrong, Adam, William Zepeda has the style to make Shakur Stevenson look like Floyd Mayweather Jr.
Yeah, I mean, I would want to see that fight, Shakur and William Zepeda, a lot because I mean, he's gonna come forward, he's gonna be there, and that's the best. I think it is Shakur's best opponent to date that he has
Yep.
fought. Guy's a rising star. Oh, he's a champion now, correct?
No,
No,
he's
not yet. Okay,
he's the mandatory for the WBA, Tank.
okay, yeah. So
Oh,
I mean,
and mandatory for Tank and who else? The WBC. That's Shakur.
yeah. So I mean, that is a fight that I want to watch because I mean, we know what we're gonna get with William Zepeda. And we know what we're gonna get with Shakur. And Shakur is the best at what he does, and William Zepeda is the best at what he does. And I don't want to hear anybody say, "Oh, we gotta let this fight marinate." They're both like two relatively kind of unknown guys. William Zepeda's never talked on camera. He's not really the greatest looking guy ever. Just get that fight going. Just get it
Yep.
going, dude. That's all you got to do.
Look, guys. There are some fights that are a waste of time to be talking about marinating.
Yes.
Like Benavidez, Caleb Plant. What the hell were they waiting all those years for? It wasn't going to get any more popular. It's like fight already. Like Canelo versus Benavidez, this is the apex of its popularity, of its demand. It's only going to diminish from here. So, dude, just fight already. Like this over marination shit is for the birds. No one likes it. And someone's going to get beaten before now and then. It diminishes the demand.
Yes, exactly.
Look, like Adam, after Benavidez's somewhat inconsistent performance against Gvostic, has that enhanced the demand for the Canelo fight or diminished it?
It kind of diminished it because a lot of people saw the flaw at 75 and they saw a little bit of struggle at 75 and they go, you know what? Canelo looked a lot better at 75 than this guy, even though that's his first fight at 75. They go, you know what? I
And he
think
was
Canelo's going
damaged
to beat
goods.
that guy. Yeah, I think I'm going to beat that guy. They saw him beat up Kovalev, and Kovalev was completely shot at that point, but he had knocked him out in spectacular fashion. So it gives off the appearance that he's going to smash over Benavidez. And Benavidez couldn't carry the power up to 75, and you saw that. And so now it makes that fight look a little like not as appealing because he doesn't look like the Mexican monster that he was at 68.
Okay, indeed. Last one from Mini Mill. And then we've got to say goodnight. It's already 10:35. Got a busy day ahead of me tomorrow. So does Adam. He says, Oscar Valdez looks so small versus Shakur. Is Shakur a weight bully? Come on now. Come on, guys.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think it's just that, I mean, I think it's just Oscar Valdez is short. That's it.
Yeah, that's it, guys.
That's it. He's a short guy.
Alberto says this. Well, hold on. Let me say hello to my dear friend Sly. Sly Sentences in the house. Thank you, my friend. Thank you for always being here, brother. Sly's comments are second to none, bro. It's hilarious. And thank you, T. Sanders. Have a wonderful evening also, my friend. Last one. Alberto says, Joe, I read that Tom Brown of TGV Promotions paid Scully his step-aside money. Look, that is not correct. If anyone's going to pay step-aside money, it's Canelo.
Yeah, it's Canelo.
Right? It's Canelo. No one else is obligated. And from what I understand,
Tom Brown, yeah.
From what I understand, he fulfilled his contractual obligations. They had a 2-fight agreement still remaining for the end of the year, and then they terminated that and signed him to a 1-fight deal only. Okay, so he has no more He is not financially obligated to PBC. And to be honest with you, that fight lost money with Jaime Munguia only selling a little over 500,000. And when you consider the guaranteed purse amounts that PBC had to fork over, come up with, right?
Mhm.
It's like, it's like, is there any, like, once again, guys, I have to see it to believe it. I think that, yeah, PBC is done until I see something, that states otherwise. I'm going to believe that we just witnessed PBC's last event ever. And look, if Turkey Al Sheikh isn't willing to bail out Al Heyman and PBC, then they're done. That was their last lifeline, guys. Until I see something that shows me otherwise. Rest in peace, PBC. They are always out of business. Now, once again, correct me if I'm wrong, but look at the evidence in front of you. All of the fighters jumping ship out of necessity. And Turkey Al Sheikh, hey, you know what? Why am I going to bail you out? I can just wait till you guys go out of business and we pick off your fighters one by one.
They're cheap, or just sign them to their promotional company in Saudi Arabia. You know what I was thinking? If this whole Turkey Al Sheikh thing is gonna happen, and he may run the whole sport of boxing, it might be a pretty smart idea to learn Arabic for fighters.
Yeah. Well, we know you, brother. You're ready to slap a burqa on your wife.
I'm ready, dude. I would have done that even if he didn't give me money. I'd be like, you know what? You don't need to have any opinions for yourself. Please. I don't want you driving that car. You're gonna take the bus.
I tell you what, brother. You know what, man? It is already almost 10:40 my time, 11:40 Eastern. I usually don't like to do shows this late. We've already been on for an hour and 36 minutes. Anthony, would you guys like to do a Warweek Radio or Warweek Boxing chat tomorrow with Adam Lopez when he's on route number, what is that?
11:08. I don't know if I could do it. I don't think I could do it tomorrow. Usually Mondays are really busy. Tuesday though. Tuesday I can do that.
Guys, let's reconvene Tuesday because obviously we still have a lot to talk about. And you know us, we love to talk. We love to talk about boxing. And we love to talk about boxing with our extended Warweek Radio family. And guys, I tell you what, I wouldn't want it any other way. You guys are the smartest fans in boxing. And it's an honor to be able to converse with you guys every time we go online. So, guys, we're going to reconvene with Adam Lopez Tuesday afternoon. Let's make it a bi-weekly thing, Tuesday and Thursday. How's that?
I can do that. Yeah, I could literally do it every day, except Mondays.
Yeah. Well, guys, we're going to be visiting. Hopefully, we're going to be visiting with Iceman John Scully tomorrow and reconnect with him tomorrow evening. But look, I've got to bring something up, guys. And someone just asked me about this. Mini Meal says, Joe, is Coach Gogi coming back? That's entirely up to him. He's become inundated with new fighters, guys that he's trying to teach the craft to, and he's been very busy. But he promises he will be back to help us preview the big events. Nice. Okay? And so that's going to be the extent of Coach Gogi's involvement. But look, there is no Warweek Boxing without Coach Gogi. He's the reason why I started doing this. As well as you guys, trying to give you the skinny and give you the truth about the business. Because most people don't know shit. And then when you look at YouTube channels, Ching Yao, dude, they are absolutely clueless. They're glorified fans with a camera and a mic. You guys know more than most of these channels. You guys know a lot more than most of these channels. Okay, so that's the primary reasons why you set up. So Gogi will always be, in my opinion, Warweek Boxing, and I love the guy. He's one of my best friends in this business, and I love him like a brother. So, yeah, Coach Gogi is the real man. He is the truth, and I wouldn't be doing this without him. He's been such an invaluable mentor, brother, and friend to me, and he's taught me more about boxing, introducing me to Don Warwick Chargan. And trust me, if I hadn't learned as much as I did with Gogi, there's no way in Hades Emmanuel Stewart would have wanted to work with me for all those years. So I owe James Gogi an awful lot, and so he will always be a part of this channel. But unfortunately, it's not going to be every week anymore. This is why we're switching Rick Glaser to Sunday nights. It's easier for him. And yeah, Coach Gogi, he's not going to be able to commit to every single week. So there it is. But I tell you what, Coach Gogi's always here in spirit. And yeah, he said he would be able to do the show whenever there's a big event. So there it is, guys. So expect him to be on sometime next month to preview the Terrence Crawford-Madrimov matchup, as well as all of those other fights in between. Adam, your parting shots for our listening audience, my friend.
No parting shots, just good night talking about boxing.
And there it is, guys. And there it is, guys. On behalf of the real Rick Glaser, on behalf of Montequilla, Adam Lopez, I'm Joseph Heron. Thank you for joining us tonight, and thank you for being a part of our extended family with Warwick Boxing. Have a great week, everybody.
How you doing? You too can smell manly if you listen to Real Talk with Rick Glaser.